what you say. I just want you to know, I try to listen, I become trying to be informed. And this is the first, he never did before, but this is the first town meeting except when they're all shut down in NBC. And we can come during the day now. We actually don't, I'm babysitting today and don't have any responsibilities today. I'll let you do your thing, but. I just want to sit at my computer. Oh, yeah, no, I know you gotta get ready for that. I'm not sure what I'm saying, but I want to say, we gotta come here. Is this a regular meeting as opposed to what happened yesterday? On the box budget?
Yeah, yesterday was a community conversation, so there was a give and take.
Okay, it is 2 p.m. and we are going to call the 2 p.m. public hearing to order. This is a public hearing for the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget as proposed by the town manager and superintendent of schools. We will begin with roll call. Mr. Davidoff.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor. Councilor Blanks. Mayor Cantor.
Here.
Councilor Cortez. Councilor Fay. Councilor McGinnis.
Present.
Councilor Poland.
Here.
Councilor Walters.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Winograd.
Here.
Councilor Zdanowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Davidoff. We do have a sign-up sheet, so anybody that wants to speak to this public hearing, we can look at that. In the meantime, Mr. Clerk, have you received any written comments?
Madam Mayor, to date, we've received 3 letters which are in the council packet. One is from Amy Frey, expressing concern about the proposed tax increase. The other is from Dominique LeBeau, who was felt that the tax increase was too high, and she had deep concerns with the proposed tax increase. And the last was a gentleman known as just Tony B. He didn't put his last name, and he also thought that the taxes being proposed were too high.
Thank you, Mr. Davidoff. And I just want to explain that this public hearing is by town charter, and we receive public comment. We don't have interactive. We have done something a little bit new this year, and if we do it again next year with the Board of Education, we will give much more notice, where we had community conversations, which have been interactive, and we did a presentation, and I think it's a helpful tool for people to understand the budget and for us to hear from the public. As you can see, there's not many people here, so and that's what we are trying to fix in some way. So the only people signed up right now are Lynn and Mike Jimenez. If you,
Even though he signed up to have us speak.
oh, you don't have to. It can be attendance.
I thought it was an attendance sheet.
Okay, well, that's
We're
fine.
new with this.
Okay, well, welcome, and
We said we gotta start coming.
okay, well, we're happy to see you. Welcome. If there's anything you would like to share, that would be wonderful. I'm going to hand this to Lynn and Mike. So we're going to wait a few minutes just in case there's any people that thought we might start late. And, we're not presenting anything. We did yesterday. We had 2, a morning session and an evening session. Our town manager can give you what he did present. They're also on WHC TV, and you can watch them. There are 3 different sessions. The presentations are the same, but the interactions and the questions are obviously different. So.
Well, now that we're retired, and I said to my husband, we can't just think our thoughts. We just can't, not the word complain.
So we would have to put something on the record if we're going to do that, and you would need to come up. It's a formal process, so I'm sorry. But feel free. I mean, we're not intimidating, honestly, if you want to.
And I'm not usually
But-
shy.
You can, hello.
You want me to go up?
Yes, I want to state your name and your address, and we usually use a 3-minute guideline, but obviously,
Here to say that.
well, as much as you would like to say, Lynn, okay.
Okay.
So state your name and address for the record.
Lynn Jimenez, 35 Hunter Drive. That's right at the junction of Sobey and Hunter. And my husband and I have lived in West Hartford probably since the early 80s. The wonderful part of West Hartford is that let me just say, when our daughter finished her graduate studies, got married, she and a whole group of her friends decided they loved this town so much that they decided they were going to come back and make their homes here. And this daughter that I'm speaking of has 4 kids. Actually, the last 2 are 2.5-year-old twins. Very unexpected, but the best things ever. She went from 2 to 4 kids. And I think all of us want to stay in West Hartford. We realize you don't have to convince us what services you have and where our tax dollars go. My husband retired a few years ago. He was a primary care physician in West Hartford, part of ProHealth, and knows. And we would just love to continue living in town. And going to make every effort to do so. This is the first time ever, though, that I said to my husband and I, he was more like the Marcus Welby type. You know, he spent a lot of time with people, hung the shingle out, used to make house calls. It's been a long time ago, but, you know, we're here, and I will say, this is the first time, given the possible increase, and the fact that we just got a couple of big quotes on repairs in our old house, that I said, I'm not sure, given the uncertainty of what's going on and what's going to go on in the next 4 years, if that realistically will make sense for us. And I know my daughter and her husband love it here. Morley is the school that 2 of the oldest girls go to. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. Not saying, I think you all work very hard to try and look at the budget, to try and make cuts. And I know it's not going to stay at 7.35 or what it was that I read. I know there'll be some modifications. And I know if we cut the tax rate down too much, we are going to have to lose some services. And I'm not sure how that'll all fall out. I don't know. I just wanted to, I know there are probably other people like us who might at this point, not knowing what the future's going to bring. I mean, I don't have to,
So
we
you-
know what's going on in this world.
Yeah.
So I think my 3 minutes is up. I just want to know, keep doing your hard work. I wish more people will begin to show up, because you can say anything you want between your neighbor or to yourselves, but if you don't come and at least let your leaders know what's on your mind. I want my daughter to be able to feel comfortable in staying here. She's been so busy with the new job and the 4 young kids, 2.5 to 8. I didn't even really tell her, you know what the tax increase might be this year? Maybe this year, I should say. So let's see what happens with all this. But I said our first responsibility is to show up.
Thank you.
I had no idea what kind of meeting this was. I thought it was going to be, you're going to tell us all about it. I would have loved to have been there yesterday. We just could not be here. If you offer more of that open discussion, we will come. And I guess that's it. So thank
Thank
you.
you.
And my first time ever talking.
You did
at a
great.
meeting.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Doctor, I'm sure you had.
Mike, call him Mike.
Okay, well, I appreciate what you do. Okay, if you haven't signed up, please come up, state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes-ish to speak.
Jeff Kivlin, 85 Stoner Drive. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for having us. Obviously, I think everybody wished there was more of a turnout. I don't know if that's because it's 2 o'clock on a Tuesday or it's an information problem, because I found out about it about 15 minutes ago. And I don't necessarily know what the best answer to that would be, of how to get that information out to people. I think a lot of people rely on Ronnie and WeHo News or Facebook, but sometimes that algorithm just doesn't reach everybody. Or this week, I clicked on 3 wrong things and I got something totally different. Obviously, 7.35% is a lot. I think there's a lot of concern in the town as far as where that money's going to go, but nothing, unfortunately, costs what it did yesterday or last year or the year before. You know, as a small business owner, you know, just insurance, 20% this year, electricity, 20%, gas, 10%, labor, 15%. Like, it's one thing after another. So I think most people get it. We just want to make sure it's being spent wisely and that there's not any waste involved. The one thing I would champion everybody here is that, let me tell a little story. Like you were saying, me and my wife moved back to West Hartford. We both graduated Hall. Moved back to West Hartford when she finished her fellowship and residency, and she could have gotten a job anywhere in this country. Literally, she's a unicorn as far as the surgeon goes and could have gotten a job anywhere tomorrow. We chose Connecticut. We have family here. Great. Grew up here. We decided West Hartford. We both had very fond memories of growing up in West Hartford. The school system's #1 concern. One of our major concerns today is where the school system is going, and it's getting a little overcrowded. It's not in dire needs, but it's starting to make that incremental leap up, where you've got 27 kids slated out of 5th grade in Morley. That's kind of insane for where everybody else around us is. As far as kindergarten goes, at Duffy, you've got 22 kids per class starting in kindergarten next year. I would challenge any of you to go deal with 22 5-year-olds for a week and see how much hair you have left, because you'd probably pull it out. I know I would. And it's these little things that, if we're going to have these huge tax increases, please give Paul all the money he needs to make sure that this town's education department stays top-notch. Because once we lose that, you're never going to catch up again, because people like me will be fleeing this town. The only reason why we're here is because of the education for our children. I mean, the center is great and all, but we have kids. I'm not going out to eat every night. I hate going out to eat with my kids. Truly, they're terrorists. And I wouldn't, yeah, exactly. So please keep that in mind, first and foremost, that this town's greatness was built on the education of this town. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaplan. Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak? Okay, we'll give it a few more minutes, and if nobody comes on, we're going to close the public hearing. Don't be afraid to speak. I see a couple. Really? Thank you.
You can't talk off the cuff, huh? This can't be just a little. No, it's not that kind of like yesterday. I love what you did yesterday. Do another one. Well, and I got to try and make sure I read WeHo. So
I can just tell you the flow. The Board of Education actually votes tonight on their budget, and then we vote April 22nd. We have committee meetings that will discuss each department. We have been having them, and they will continue. They are all on WHCI Interactive. They're all virtual, so they are recorded. And we go through each budget item. I can also just tell you that the Board of Education is 60% of our budget. The town is 31%. The remainder is capital financing, which is all of our buildings. And so the Board of Education is obviously the lion's share. And then it's police, fire, public works really are the big, the rest is fairly small. But we are going through with a fine tooth comb, and I'm probably violating all.
We're on recess.
Okay. Are there budgets in brief up there, Rick?
There are, yeah.
Okay. Right. So if there are no further comments, we are going to close the public hearing. I'm just going to reach out one more time. Does anybody want to speak? Okay, please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes-ish to speak.
Actually, I probably missed yesterday's question and answer. Corinne Preet, 1566 Boulevard. I'm a retired teacher. I was born in West Hartford, raised here, and own a home here. And I love living here. But what you said, I'm kind of worried about. You know, my house is old. I'm doing repairs. Can I sustain this? And I look at all the development that's going on with the apartments, and I think all those apartments are going to be filled with some families with children, which to me would add to the education budget. And I'm just concerned, like, how do we maintain? We're already at 7.35 increase. Going forward, it's, I'm just nervous about being able to afford the taxes with all the increase in development. That is, I'm assuming it's an increase in our Board of Ed budget. There will be more kids. And I just hope I can afford it. But if it keeps going up at 7%, there's no way. And I think that applies to a lot of people in this town. Thank you.
Thank you. Could you just spell your last name?
Prete, Preet.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay. Anybody else? All right. So, seeing there's no further comment, without objection, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Is there any objection? Hearing no objection, we are adjourned. Thank you.